Friends.
Hello. Much demanded video we're about to make for you.
It's been asked for over and over and over again.
Mucho demanded.
We'll do it. We'll totally do it. Now. We're doing it now.
Right now, it's happening. Strap in, folks. We are going to teach you how to muscle test and the very basics of how to use the pendulum, how to connect with the pendulum. I'm really excited. I could talk about pendulums all day. Jenny, should we start with muscle testing first? Because it's a lot easier to explain.
Sure. Yeah.
Pendulum. And then we'll go to pendulums. And then we can really dive out on pendulums for a minute.
Okay. So, muscle testing is a form of connecting to your subconscious brain. And your subconscious brain does not know how to lie, it has zero filters and there's zero ego involved. A really good book is The Biology of Belief. And we'll have a link for that in the notes somewhere below or on our book list. It is really, really good book. Do not get the Audible. You guys, he talks like Bueller. And it is really exciting information. I remember listening to it and being like, this is amazing, be excited. And he was not very exciting. But if you want to understand the science behind muscle testing, that's a really, really good one. Not required reading, not for everybody. I, Virgo rising, loved it.
I would probably never read it.
So it is this connection to your subconscious, and you find the answer in your physical body. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm going to share all of them with you and let you try them. And then Jasmine's going to show pendulums because that's her preferred way. And we're going to invite you to pick one and practice it for like 3 months.
Like really sit with it because it's not something that you're going to feel, you're going to be very skeptical and you're going to feel really insecure about it for a while. Probably even, I mean, I don't know. Depends on how much you trust the unknown. Depends on how much you trust what you can't see. And if you're a sciencey person and you're like, I don't trust what I don't know, then you need to read the book Jenny just said.
Yeah. Also applied kinesiology. So yeah. There's a fancy word for it too. So the first one I learned, and I think one of the easiest ones for most people is the lean test. Okay. So when I stand here and I soft bend in my knees, my feet are planted, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to say, okay, show me a yes. And for me, my body leans forward. And I'm going to say, show me a no. And my body leans back. And then show me a no or an I don't know. And I stay neutral. Okay. So this test you can do when it's like, I mean, this one's really fun for supplements and stuff. It's like, okay, and I'll hold the supplement to my chest. And sometimes I will almost fall back. And sometimes I'll almost fall forward because it's like my body wants it so much, or my body's like, get this away from me.
Yeah.
So in a physical realm, that lean test can be really beautiful, but you can also do it for emotions, right? And energetic things. And like, do I need to know more about this? And then I'll lean forward, or I'll lean back, or I'll stand. And that standing still usually means not right now. And you can try later. And it may be a yes or no, or just it's still not right now. So that is the lean test. The other one that you'll see does require 2 people, and it's the arm test, right? Where you hold your arm out and you try to resist someone pushing you down. And the easiest way to do this, and this is where I wish we were in person, but is like, say my name is Jenny, and I'll push and it stays solid. My name is Jasmine. What? And I'm really trying to resist. My name is Jasmine. And my body goes, no, it's not. That's not your name. Okay. But that one does require 2 people. And this one's really fun because, especially if you're a little skeptical, because you put your hand out and you have someone push down and say, okay, I'm just going to test this and I'm going to resist. And you feel your resistance and you'll see as your arm just totally, and you're totally trying. And one is like, what in the world? So
a lot of chiropractors will use that. A lot of, not all of them, but all the chiropractors I've been to will muscle test you in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine does too. So, okay. So the other one is, you can do like the linking your fingers together. And it's like trying to pull them apart. And with this one, or with the finger where you're trying to push it through, whoop, right? Or the finger, or the flick test. These are the three I'm going to share with you. This one takes a little bit of personal practice. Not a little, it takes a lot of personal practice um and time to really get it, because for some people, stop means no and this means go. And for other people, this means I'm solid. This is a yes, and weak is no. Did I say the same things? Stop is no.
Yes is go. This yeah, that's the part. And this is the part that gets really confusing. So don't worry about what other people do. This is actually the reason that I don't muscle test this way. This exact question is because I get it so mixed up in my brain that it's like I just prefer pendulums. Like I'm like, what the fuck was it that I said was a yes or a no? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like I can't. I can't. So don't be like, for if you are having that response, don't worry. It's okay. We have something for you. But it's like super great because if you can remember what the hell you chose was the thing, because you're going to see people do it everywhere. Like you're going to search this on the internet and everyone's going to do it a little bit different. It doesn't matter what they do because it's your body. This is just this like a language. We don't say Spanish is wrong. Like, right? It's just a language. So don't get too hung up on it.
So I'm going to show you from the flick test, because this is the way I chose to learn muscle testing. And for me, what I did and what my mentor taught me was you had to do this 400 times. 400 times is kind of like the magical number for like ingraining it and creating a neural pathway in your brain that this is how it is. And I would say, give me a yes, give me a no. So for me, a yes is solid. It's a solid cycle, it's a solid circle, and a no is weak. That's me. Yours might be stop, that's no, and go is yes. So you have to, that's why you, for 400 times, you have to ask yourself, give me yes, give me no, 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 whatever it is for you. And I walked around for a week, just give me it. I'm stirring mac and cheese for my kids' lunch, give me yes. My hands down here by my side, give me yes, give me no, give me yes, give me no. I'm like driving down the freeway, give me yes, give me no, give me yes, give me no. And I probably did it over 1,000 times, honestly, because I really, really wanted to solidify. And then I started doing things that I knew were easy no's and easy yeses. Do I need water? Do I need Diet Coke? Right? Do I need a banana, or do I need a candy? Right? And it was like, so I could start proving to my brain and my body, I've got this. This is a yes, this is a no. And so you'll see me flicking a lot when on videos and stuff. A lot of times actually you won't, because my hands are down here. You won't see my hands, but I'm flicking and muscle testing a lot of things. Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? Do I need to know more? Right? So that's how I muscle test. And if you want to do that too, at least 400 times.
Yeah. And then if you want to, the same thing with these lockies, yes, give me no, give me 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 yes, whatever. Like
same with the leaning. It really
yes, no. And starting, like, I really want to like foot stomp on all the things that we're giving you. Start with something that's insignificant. Don't be like, does my mom have cancer? Okay, we're not doing that. Like, that's not how we start these things. And this is actually a really great moment to share what we don't ask.
Yeah.
In this break between, because I have your attention still, because you want to talk about pendulums. Things that Jennie and I will not, and you'll see we don't do this. And there are some people who do, and I'm not judging them.
Yeah.
There are some people who do. I do not ask, did he cheat on me questions? Like, no. Am I going to win the lottery? Nope. I don't ask that question because it's not mine. If that makes sense. If say what?
Am I going to get the raise? Am I going to get the part? Am I going to get the boyfriend or the whatever?
Yeah. And I think we'll do another video about this. Like, it feels important that we do another video as I get into this, just know for this video, and we'll create another one here soon, the do's and don'ts of how to question, how to go through this path of contemplation, how to go through this path of questioning, because it's important. Because you'll see Jennie and I, and we're pretty open about this, because a lot of times, especially when we do readings together, people will ask us a question and Jennie and I will get different answers. And we're very clear to explain why we got different answers, because it's in the question that we asked and the way that we asked the question. Always. Not ever one time has it been not that. So clarity in answering your question is super important, I think. And it's actually not something I really heard people talk a ton about. So we'll do another video on that.
The other thing is muscle testing for other people without their consent.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, even though Jerry and I are in this committed relationship, if I have an idea of something that maybe he needs and I start muscle testing without asking him if that's something he is even concerned about, that is like crossing a boundary and an energetic line that is not okay. And I can't get clear answers because I do not have access and consent to his energy to tune in.
Yeah. I always ask, even for myself, I always ask, do I have permission to be in this energy? Do I have, even when for myself, you'll see me. When I start doing a reading for someone, I'm like, do I have permission to be in this energy? And then I go, like, if I'm over the middle of my palm, that is the question that I'm asking. Do I have permission to be in this energy? Because consent is, yeah.
And we will muscle test for other people, but they've given us permission. And so we can tune in to that energy. And that's when we muscle test for other people. But hey, kids are different because they are in your care and they are part of you until they're 18. So I've got a 19-year-old right now, and I do have to ask permission before I muscle test from her. So
I always, even with my kids, I still always ask their higher self if I have permission.
That's beautiful.
I do it even for myself. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for pendulums?
I'm ready.
So I have props. This is my pendulum tree.
I have a pendulum hanger right here. That's my pendulums. Those are probably not all of your pendulums.
No.
You probably have more.
No.
I know you have a couple in the studio.
There's a couple at the studio. I have some in my nightstand in my room.
Your purse, in your car.
My purse, my car, my pocket, in my whatever. And I have 4 right here. My tree doesn't fit them all.
I have 4 total.
So, okay, that's how you know you're obsessed. When you have more than one. So, and then I have some, sometimes they disappear for a little while. And so, okay. Pendulums. Why I have so many. 1, they're beautiful and I love them. But 2, this is a belief that I have. It's not a belief you have to have, but I believe that every pendulum that I have has a different feeling to it. 1, because it's different stone. 2, I really believe in their attachments to guides. I believe that they're attached to different guides or different energies, or they're just different. There's a different feel to them. And so I'm not going to ask, there will be questions that I ask particular pendulums that I don't ask another pendulum. Don't get too hung up on it, but just know that if you get really into it, you may find yourself getting more. And also, I've had so many pendulums that I've given away to other people that don't work for me anymore, or that are just not mine. They have their own. They have a soul of their own, and they will tell you when it's for you and when it's not. So usually, let's go to the point of how do I pick a pendulum, right? I'm at the store and I'm seeing this display of pendulums either on the ground or whatever. Just so you guys know, I have them right here. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, which one? And some of these pendulums are not the sexiest pendulums, right? And some of them are a little ornate. Like, this is not usually my style, right? It's not something I would normally pick. So don't get blown. Like, it's fine. It's okay. If one comes to you, I'm not going to take one off the tree because that's kind of a to do, to take one off the tree. So this one's the one today that I picked. It's a chakras pendulum. It's actually one of my newer ones. I think it might be the newest one that I own. Once you pick up a pendulum that you're at the store and you're deciding, is this pendulum for me? Yes or no? I'm always going to ask that question. I'm getting a yes. This pendulum is a little hesitant because it's also connected to my daughter a little bit too. So it's like, ooh, also Ellie. She was the one who actually picked it out of the store. So is this pendulum for me? The reason I knew that is there was a hesitation in my body. I'm like, ooh, I feel like I was forcing that just a smidge. Again, you'll know because you can connect to your body. It's also as a teeny tiny yes. Whereas this pendulum, is this pendulum for me? Notice the bigness of that swing in comparison. I've also had this pendulum for a really long time. It is very special to me. And I would never say that I would never give it away because if source tells me it's for someone else, then I would, but I would really think about it for a long time before. So we're always going to ask a pendulum if it is for us. If it says no, put it down. It does not matter how beautiful it is. It's not yours. It's not for you. Sorry, love. It's not for you. I've put beautiful ones down before and it was very hard because they were very ornate and very beautiful and very one of a kind. And I still put them down. And I've bought ones that are very insignificant. One of my favorite pendulums of all time is like no one would think anything of it. Like it doesn't really have anything going on. It used to have a dragon end, but it fell off. You wouldn't really think anything of this pendulum compared to something like this, maybe. But it's also my grandpa. The guy connected to this pendulum is my grandpa. So if I'm asking him, if I'm getting into the space of asking questions. So that's a little bit over the top asking. Once you've determined a pendulum is yours and it feels good to you and you connect, right? You're having a conversation now. Think about having a conversation with yourself or with the guy that's connected to it. So this one just so happens to be my higher self pendulum, which is why I would ask this pendulum if it's a question for me and really want to deep into this energy, right? This is my highest self. So can I connect to my energy? Can I ask about my energy today? Yes, I'm getting a yes. Always asking. Yep. Also, I think it gives an opportunity for your pendulum to say, I'm not the one to ask this question to as well. So just like this is brand new, I've been doing it for a long time. For you, it's brand new. Now we need to get into the space of getting a yes and a no. So pendulum, yes and no, for me this is yes. Show me a yes. Show me a yes. Show me a really big yes, like hell yes. This is the most yes thing I could ever have in the whole wide world. Show me a little yes. Notice how it really slows down. Show me a no. Show me a big no. Bigger, bigger. Show me a really big no. Big no, big no, big no, big no, big no.
And I just want to point out to those of you who are probably a little skeptic, you see Jasmine's hand moving. You see her arm moving just the slightest amount.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what muscle testing is, right? My hand is moving, right?
Yeah.
It's going to not let it move, but it's going to move with the flick test. And the same thing is you're asking your body a question, your subconscious, your higher self a question, and it's going to move. It's going to move. And so starting your practice with, okay, I'm going to show me a yes, and I'm going to make it move to start to create that muscle memory to show my body. And for me, same thing. Yes is up and down, north and south, just like a nod. And no is left, left and right, left and right. And you can
Absolutely.
first to kind of start getting that muscle memory.
Yeah, getting that swing.
I used to try and don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. And then I'm not getting anything.
Also, really, another good thing if your pendulum is not moving for you is one, I like if you're going to play with this and you don't own a pendulum, go to a store and play with them. Like, so you can play with a bunch of them. at the same time. Go to somewhere that has a bunch of them, or wear a necklace, like pick a necklace that you've been wearing for a long time. That's also really helpful because it has your energy. So yes and no, you have to really understand yeses and nos before you can do anything else, before you can understand anything else. And I'm going to really resist the urge because I want to show you more with the pendulum, but this is a basic. So once you can do a lot of stuff with the yes and no, and understanding the energy behind the pendulum that you're holding on to. All of these different stones, and I'm not going to even get into what the stones mean, but know the stone that your pendulum is. Use it. Use it for that energy, right? This is going to be a moss agate. This is clear quartz. This is my whole entire body. That's everything, right? This is an aura quartz. It's fired, right? This is really connecting to my aura. This is such a joy pendulum for me. If I really want to have like a really beautiful feeling, this one is just joy. Like, it's such a joyful pendulum to play with. Where I have a metal pendulum, and this pendulum is more grief to me. This is really receiving. How am I releasing? It's a very heavy pendulum, so it feels very heavy in my hand. So just know that not every pendulum is created equal at all. They all feel a little different. And giving yourself the time to kind of play with them and experience them. And most importantly, that they choose you. Once you get a pendulum, just like Jennie said, you have to ask it lots of questions. When I get a new pendulum, I carry it. It's the pendulum that I carry in my purse. Like when I buy a new one, it stays with me for like months before I let it go anywhere. I also generally won't ask a new pendulum a really serious question. You generally will not see me like this pendulum does not come out a whole ton right now because it's new. It's still connecting to me. It's also not 100% mine. It's really my daughter's, and it's just hanging out. Like I can use it and I can connect with it, and that's fine. And it's going to allow that sort of thing. But some pendulums just don't. So if you have a pendulum that's not working for you, ask it if it like really allow it to tell you, no, it's not for you. I think that's really important. I think it's the most significant difference between muscle testing and using a pendulum is that the pendulum does have its own energy, and it needs to be allowed to say no. But it is an extension of you.
I love it. Okay. We were trying to go basic, but I think we went pretty deep in some of these things. So you're welcome. Extra bonuses.
Extra. But I think that sometimes it's important. And when someone is being blocked, I don't want you to think you're ever broken. If you're being blocked in muscle testing, maybe it's just not for you. Like me, it's like a fucking disaster. Okay. If I really wanted to, I could, but it's okay to not want to. Just the same as maybe pendulums are not for you. The muscle testing is more for you. There's lots of people who I've trained who don't use pendulums.
Well, when I'm out of alignment, or I keep just getting no's, and I'm like, this is not making sense. The simple question that I know if I'm in alignment or not, my name is Jennie. And if I get a no on my name is Jennie, I know I'm out of alignment. And that's typically when I get a pendulum, because for some reason, pendulums are connected somehow differently for me. And so I can go, okay, my name is Jennie, and I can go, my name is Jennie. And I'll get a yes here. And so when my muscle testing isn't working, pendulums are my backup. I also use pendulums when it's a really personal question for me and I have a preferred outcome that I know I can manipulate with my fingers. But
yeah,
I can't, well, I could like make it happen, but for some reason I'm not as attached to controlling a pendulum as I am my finger. I'm like, oh, I want this thing. Yes, right? Yes. And it's like trying to slip into a no.
Yeah, and I think pendulums make it really obvious. It's a very obvious answer, whereas sometimes when you muscle test, it can be very like what is it? Like subtle. Whereas your pendulum is not subtle. Like you will, as you use your pendulum more, like I can sit here and I can be like, yes, no, and I can feel the sensations in my fingertips what is a yes and what's a no. But it is at the beginning, it's always so rewarding to get the, oh, yes.
See the swing, external
No.
validation.
Yeah. Plus they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Love you guys. Have fun.
Yeah.
Fun and play with it for at least 3 months before you try another one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are having questions or struggles or problems, reach out.
Reach out.
Wednesday night Soul Connection class is the class that we really utilize these in. And so that would be a really good class to come to so that you can start to practice and learn different ways that we use them for your own way, for your own use, your own benefit, your own healing.
And in that class, we talk a lot about questions and what questions to ask and what path to go to connect with them more.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.